That's new. This whole like consent
It
thing.
just started a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you the option now if you're like on a call where you're not the host. If you don't want to be recorded, you can either leave the meeting or stay.
Weird. Okay. So I think both of you know how to make opportunities. So let's go into like what it looks like for compliance and kind of the steps that are involved that you should be taking every time that you do create an opportunity, right? So let me go ahead and just go into one. Okay. So we always start here, right? To make things easy, if it's a listing, you're going to want to go ahead and fill in the property address every time, right? Go ahead and fill that in. It won't let you submit your commission. This is one of the errors that you might receive when submitting a commission request. So always make sure you have the property address in here. You need to do it here, or sometimes you can click up here and search for it in the KWLS, but it's just easier to do it through here, and it'll auto find your address once you start typing it in. So just choose whatever auto address that pops up, as long as it's the right one, obviously. And I would say go ahead and fill out this details tab, this general information to complete. I mean, as much as you can, really. I never put this time frame. I guess we're in 1 month now. As much as possible, as much as possible. And then always, obviously, making sure when you initially setting up an opportunity, you're selecting the correct one. You know, because it defaults to listing. So if it's a buyer, you're going to have to manually select buyer when you're creating that opportunity. Another compliance issue that we see a lot is people are not changing the opportunity names to the address. So in this general information under the details tab is where we do that. So make sure, you know, we get the address in there also. It makes it easier for our back office and Brian to go ahead and find the opportunities. So let's just, you know, that's just a process that the office requests. It's not that difficult, and you're already in here anyway. So, and with a buyer or if you're working with a tenant, obviously you don't know the address right away. So as soon as you're under contract on something, go ahead and just update that opportunity name, knowing that, you know, it may fall through, but if that happens, you'll just change it to whatever the next one is. And I guess that leads me to my next point. If your offers are falling through, but it's the same, for instance, you have a buyer and, you know, what do you call it? You're involved in the contract and then you do the inspection falls through, you can still use the same opportunity. You don't change the opportunity just because, you know, that buyer is no longer buying that house. You're just going to change all the information. And then I'll show you how to update the documents to go along with that as well. So making sure the details tab is filled out to the best of your ability in the general information area and the property is super important. All right, so onto the documents. I believe the first thing you need to do is update, make sure this is under the right workflow. I mean, what I mean by that is this is under residential VA, this is a VA property, but Genevieve, if it's a Maryland or DC, you have to make sure to click Maryland or DC and submit your documents through this workflow, right? So there's the little drop down right here. Right underneath, kind of just directly underneath the details, essentially. So that's kind of like step one. Step two is going to be, I've already started a room, but over here it's going to say start a transaction. You're going to want to click that to create that DocuSign room that you'll go ahead and create all your documents in. We're not going to go through the whole document creation process in this training, but we will be referencing how to pull them into here from DocuSign, if that makes sense. So next, you're going to notice, you know, we have listed, under contract, and closed, right? Let me just go ahead and switch this back to VA because there's more stuff. These are the different folders that you need to make sure you have all your documents in and submitting. Each folder is submitted separately. And what I mean by that is once we get your documents added, and then we'll show you how to add them also, you submit to MC for the listed, for under contract, and for closed, right? So each one is done separately. Each one will have a indication of what part of the process that folder is in. Right now, this is open because I haven't submitted it. But it would say submitted if it was submitted. It would say rejected if it was rejected. And normally he'll put a note along with that. And what I mean by him is Brad. And then, what do you call it? It'll say approved in green if it's approved. So ideally what you want to see is you want to see approved, approved, approved. And a number 1 here under offers and commissions, that will be we'll get there in a minute. And that's kind of like what you want to see to get paid. You want to see green. There's probably a reason it's green. Green means go. Green means paid money. Okay, so under the listed, you're going to have probably the most amount of documents to pull over here. What you'll notice is we have the names of the documents right here. These are not actual, right? So this isn't DocuSign. These aren't where we get the documents to sign or send or anything. What these are placeholders that we're going to attach this document that we are sending out to our clients to have signed. And this is where we're going to attach that signed version of it from DocuSign into Command, right? So this is Command. All the stuff that deals with signing stuff is going to be DocuSign. Okay. So the best way to do that is to do this as you go. Okay. And what I mean by that as you go is, you have your appointment, you guys settle on a listing price and everything like that. You go home, you draw up the listing agreement, and now you're ready to email them for signature, right? So you sent all that stuff out, it got signed, and now we need to upload that and send it to Brad. Ideally, it's best to do that right after they sign it, right? So that way you're not having to do all this at one time. So now they've signed your listing agreements and the disclosures and the ABAs and the residential property disclosures and all that kind of stuff. So now we just need to upload those documents in here to get to Brad for approval. So to do that, you can do that 2 ways. You can either add one at a time, and then from here we can find that on our computer. I'm sorry, the custom folders, which is over here. If you drag them over there for some reason, we can do it from our computer, which is the manual option. So you would hit the browse function, find it on your computer, or what you're probably going to be doing is pulling it directly from DocuSign. Docs. Do I not have any documents to pull in there? Okay, well, there's no documents in this one yet. And then the documents will appear down here, and then we'll click on the ones that go, for this exclusive right to sell. We're going to be looking for that exact document. We tried to make them the same name, and we're going to assign it. DocuSign does a good job of showing that you are dealing with the signed version of that document, and it puts the word signed at the end of it. But after you upload it, just be sure to click on it to make sure we're sending Brad the correct document, the latest document that was signed last by your clients. Okay. So you're going to do that for the listed, you're going to upload the documents, and you're going to hit submit to MC. Now, if you have all of those documents already done, you can do attach multiple files, click DocuSign, and then go document by document. The dropdown will be showing there'll be actual documents here. I think this is a little faster. This is what I do. And then I hit attach, and then they all get in there at one time, right? I think that's faster, but if you like to go one by one, it's totally your prerogative. Peter, like you mentioned, we have this custom folders. You can totally add a custom folder, and it could be like, pictures, like maybe want to host the pictures here because pictures take up a lot of room. That maybe not be something you need a backup for. And you can make it private so Brad can't see those. Maybe there's no reason for him to see the pictures. You can create the folder, and then you can just start adding those documents, right? Contract disclosure, say what it is, add it to that custom folder, right? Okay, let's see. Now, under contracts is where we're going to have some other little nuances when it comes to contracts. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't need to change the opportunity just because the contract falls through. You just need to update the documents. And what I mean by that is right over here, we have this under contract. So let's just say we had stuff submitted here, but that fell through. We need to upload a new ratified sales contract, new home inspection, all that new stuff. So what we would do here is we would do this and we would add a version, and it's fine to call it under contract V2. That's just fine. Create that new version, and that creates a whole new workflow that opens up every single one of these. They're all going to say add file again, and then we can go and go to attach multiple files, DocuSign, and then attach all the new documents for the new version. Okay. What I will say is you will need to go ahead and once you do that, submit again. Like let's say you already submitted to the Market Center for the first version, and you'll need to make sure it says the V2 here, and then submit again to Brad. All right. And then you'll submit that. You'll go to closing at this point, right? You're going to get a closing document. It's signed Alta by both parties. Hopefully, if you're in DC or Maryland, I don't know what they give you, but I'm sure they give you something.
Same thing.
Is it the same thing?
Same thing. The only difference, they give you the check
At closing?
at closing. The commission
Funny
check.
that they take so long to do so much stuff, but yet they pay you at closing anyway.
Yeah, they give you the check at closing.
Man.
That's what
And
I
so
like.
you bring that to the office yourself?
Yeah, or they send it overnight.
Oh.
But if they give it to me, I take it.
I wonder if it's because of how we record stuff in Virginia is different than how they record it there, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Cool. So this is where we'll do that. The DA down here, that's not something you need to upload. That's where Kari, or if we're lucky enough to have someone as good as Kari, will hopefully remember to do that for all the transactions, if that's going to be their job too. I don't know. But someone will be uploading the DA. So you'll be able to go back to every deal, check out the DA, be like, hey, I don't remember why, you looked at your bank account, maybe the split looks funny. You'll be able to go back to the DA here and see exactly how your split was. Maybe you thought you capped sooner than you did. I don't know. But you'll be able to see the details to that right here. It'll be uploaded by somebody else. Cool. So at this point you have, we went through how to upload stuff, how to change versions. And then like always, submit to Market Center for the closed folder also. So the time to do the offers and commissions, like for the office rules, is once you have a ratified contract. Obviously, we understand that, stuff falls through. It seems like right about now, not much stuff falls through. Like if it gets under contract, it's most stuff's going to closing. I feel like it's a very high rates of closing for under contracts right now. And maybe the closing terms are very short as well too. Probably some of the shortest closing terms we've seen. So I would recommend go ahead and starting the offers and commissions tab. Once you go ahead and get this folder submitted to the Market Center, go ahead and, update the details for the ratified price. Maybe the commission rate changed with the buyer. You were hoping for 2.5 and you didn't throw it in the buyer's agreement that, you get paid 2.5 regardless. So you're stuck at 2, maybe you got under contract on a Sarah and Debbie Reynolds one. I'm sorry. So
I hate her. I have a transaction with her and I was not happy.
2%, or is she
Yeah.
the buyer?
And I got 2%. I was the buyer. And
She took 4 too.
Yeah, and she got, I think she got like 3.5 or 4%.
Yeah. If she's
I was-
taking, she's giving 2, she's taking 4.
I was about to strangle her.
That's just, that's her business model. She's been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah. So actually, when I see a listing was under her name, I kind of avoid it.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear that, right?
No, we did not hear that.
Oh, Margaret is here.
Hey, mauvais.
Didn't hear a thing.
Hey, mauvais.
Didn't hear a thing.
I think we all abide by the rule of snitches get stitches. So as long as we're all familiar with that, then we should all get along. I'm just kidding. Right. So where was I even talking about? Yeah. So if any of those things are changing, this is, we're going to update that before we get to the offers and commissions, because it'll make things it'll fill in things a little easier for us there. So the first step in the offers and commissions is we have to add an offer. This doesn't make a ton of sense on the buyer side. It makes more sense, I guess, on the seller side as a way to like compare different offers.
So how do you do that?
I'm gonna put out a training on that, but we'll talk about that when the time is right for it, for once it's fully functional. They're in the closing stretch of getting that up and running. So it's fine to make it the initial offer. If you want to call it accepted offer, that's probably a little better. Accepted offer, and then we'll go ahead and create the offer. And then here we're just putting the details, that you already know from the ratified contract. We're gonna put in the offer date, closing dates. Offer date is the ratified date. Close date is obviously the date that it should be closing. Your seller's information, if it's a listing, is going to be filled in. If you're working with the buyer, that's going to be filled in. Go ahead and just you can just go ahead and put the name of the other party. It'll be on the ratified contract anyway. Buyer, and I think that's that. And then the associate's name. I don't know why they make us put this in here. They're not really using it for anything yet. And I don't know what the plans are for it. But it's just one of those things that it just makes you do. So putting in the other agent's name. Only stuff with a red star needs to be done. And then we'll go to terms. We'll put in, what was it? 400,000. We just paid cash for this. Put down 5% to make sure we got it. Option fee, don't worry about that. That's not something, I wouldn't know what it is. They do it in Texas, I guess. So they just added it there because they,
Actually, I do charge something
this
for,
isn't a thing that you charge though. This is like,
no?
no, it's like from what I remember when I first was getting into training and teaching this, it's something that unique to the Texas area.
Do you know that the market, they are about 40% higher than last year?
That's crazy.
The price of the home?
Yeah, I mean, all those people from California going over there and bidding it up, probably.
Yeah, in Austin, I heard that. Forgot where I heard that. But
Should have bought a house there when I went to family reunion or mega camp. Okay, termination options. This is usually that 21 days that's on a financing contingency. If you can get a financing contingency put through, I doubt you can right now. But there are certain circumstances, I suppose, where it could work. And then if your sellers are contributing to like a home warranty, this is where you put that amount. And if they're paying closing costs, this is where you'll put that amount. Right, pretty straightforward. And then the analysis, this is only for listings. I'm not going to focus on it. You don't have to put anything on it for now. So for now, you can just hit save and be done with it. At this point, you do have to hit accept. So we'll hit accept. And then this opens up our ability to manage the commission, right? So we have to manage the commission area here. I don't know why it doesn't pull that contract date from the details. It used to, and now it makes you go back and put it in. And that's just one of those things that like it works, doesn't work, works, doesn't work, works, doesn't work. Right now it doesn't work. So we'll save that date. You'll notice though, there was this little error over here and now it's gone. So right now, if I was okay with all these numbers and I was good with it, I could hit submit and I was done, right? But there's a few different things that, every deal isn't as easy as just you getting paid directly on that 2.5% and then your splits, right? You're going to have maybe referrals. You're going to have Genevieve, like you charge, maybe like a $2.99 or $3.99, admin fee or something like that.
yeah, I meant to pay for my gasoline.
Yeah, right. So we have this edit agent payment. If it's something like an admin fee, that's going to be one of these extra payment options. And all I did there was just go under edit agent payment. And then I went to add item. We consider those types of admin fees a bonus. That way it won't get pulled out with splits. So like I said, was it normally like $3.99 or $2.99 or so, whatever it is. And then we'll add that. We'll save the changes. And now we can see that our commission went up by $3.99. No splits are coming out of that, or it shouldn't be. Doesn't look like. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it-
split
is-
came out of that.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, supposed to.
No, you're not supposed to get a split's not supposed to come out of that. How do I edit it? I thought yeah, because I didn't toggle it. Well, what happens when I toggle it? Oh. Because it is taking it out. It didn't do that before. That's really weird.
Undocumented feature.
Maybe there's a new item. Bonus concessions, deductions, inside, outside. I wonder if concession, no, that's not right. Is the concession on the closing statement? I mean, I guess. No, I mean, it's not what it is. So in that circumstance, since that like is being really weird, that's one of those times you're gonna want to add a note. It's like, hey, Brian, make sure the admin fee doesn't take a split, right? From the market center. And then we're going to save that. He does read them. So if you have something special, unique, and you're just not really sure how to do it, just submit it and put the note in there. Okay. And that's kind of like the Porky Pig, like that's all, folks. I don't know. Are there any questions? Anyone have any questions, or they feel like the process is taking too long and they're not sure, maybe they're doing it wrong, or?
I think that's very clear. Just speaking for myself, I just need to close more deals. So I'm more familiar with the process.
There we go. Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate all you guys for showing up. These have been going roughly 30 minutes, and I think that's a pretty good time. That's like you get in, we go through it real quick. Any questions you might have, and that way when you go back and watch it, maybe you're more likely to go back and watch it if it's a shorter video, right? Something like 20 to 30 minutes is a little more manageable than having to go through an hour-long training. So, all right, guys. If there's no more questions, if you do have any questions, shoot me an email or shoot me a text, and I'll get back with you. But
All right.
that's all we got.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Of course. And then, Kara, you can probably go ahead and shut off the record. Stop share. There we go. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.
You too.
Be around the office tomorrow for the rental class. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah. So if you need to come in for anything, I'll be in there tomorrow too. All right.
Good. Okay.
Enjoy your afternoons.